Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. A stone's throw from Midtown Manhattan, week 2 of the '92 season. The 1-0 Dallas Cowboys take on the 0-1 New York Giants. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Vern Lundquist along with John Madden. Week 2, these NFC Eastern Division rivals. And John, kind of interesting that the one word we keep hearing all week long is confidence.
Yeah, and it's interesting that the word in front of confidence is lack of confidence. And you know that the Giants don't have a lot of confidence coming into this game. They didn't have a good preseason. They really didn't play well against the 49ers last week. They've had quarterback controversy. Their defense isn't playing. There were signs here in the stadium last week, Ray must go, as in Ray Hanley. So they don't come into this game with a lot of confidence. Then you say, well, how about the Dallas Cowboys? They looked great on Monday night. They beat the Washington Redskins. Well, Jimmy Johnson is in his 4th year as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. They have never beaten the Giants here in New York. And Jimmy Johnson said, I'm not a superstitious guy, but until you do something, you never know that you can do it.
Cowboys do enter the game as slight favorites. The Giants have won 7 of the last 8 between the two. The one Dallas victory was in late September in Dallas last year, 21-16, a come-from-behind victory. Dallas has won the toss. Matt Barr will kick off for the New York Giants. Alexander Wright and Ken Gant are the deep men for Dallas. Alexander Wright at the 7. And the Cowboys will open up offensively at the 27-yard line with 4th-year quarterback Troy Aikman, the starter. Up front, the offensive line, Mark Tuinei, Nate Newton, Frank Cornish, John Giesick, Eric Williams, and Jay Novacek. In the backfield, Emmitt Smith, 140 yards Monday night. Darrell Johnston, the wide receivers, Michael Irvin and Alvin Harper. 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. Johnston starts in motion, and Aikman will throw into the flat for Emmitt Smith. Out of bounds at the 35-yard line, maybe the 36. Defensively for the Giants, Marshall, Howard, and Dorsey up front. Taylor and Banks, the outside linebackers. Diossi and Pepper Johnson to the inside. And in the secondary, Perry Williams and Mark Collins. Everson Walls gets a start at safety in place of Lamar McGriggs. Myron Guyton has been placed on the injured reserve list. It's 2nd down and 2. Emmitt Smith. That'll be a 1st down. Dallas at the 39-yard line, a gain of 3.
The one thing I've noticed about Troy Aikman this year is he really gets rid of the ball quicker than he did a year ago. And Norv Turner's the offensive coordinator. He came from the Los Angeles Rams, you know, and that's what Ernie Zampese always taught. And we were talking to Troy Aikman last night, and he said that he's learned to eliminate his first read quicker, and then you can go to that second guy.
Jimmy Johnson said of Troy Aikman, he's taken it to a brand new level this year. 1st and 10, Dallas. Emmitt Smith gets a block from Johnson and weaves his way for a gain of 5 to the 45-yard line.
And right away, the Cowboys are going to test. The Cowboys are going to test if they can get the ball outside. If they can get the ball outside the tight end. Because that's where the Giants had trouble last week. You start inside. Now, they didn't have any force or support last week up to the outside. So the Cowboys are going to test that right off the bat. Is the force there? It wasn't really there on that play because they got 5 yards.
2nd and 5. Aikman to throw. Here comes Lawrence Taylor. He goes by, and the pass is complete to Novacek. As Taylor was ridden around the outside and did not get a hand on Troy Aikman.
Well, they need another one when Taylor comes like this. You see Nate Newton comes to the outside. He's going to push. Now, when you get Taylor back here, what you need is some pressure up here so that they just can't ride him to the outside. You see, when he gets in that position, now they can just ride him to the outside. Troy Aikman is a real strong quarterback. He can just take one step up, and there's no one there in his face.
Gain of 8. Cowboys 1st and 10 at the Giant 47. Coward moved at the nose guard. Let's see if he was drawn offside.
I think he moved. He usually goes into the center. That time he was taking a stunt. He was going to the center's left shoulder. And I think he just anticipated, which a nose tackle should never do.
Encroachment, nose tackle on the defense, 5 yards prior to the snap, still first down.
That's a violation of one of your cardinal rules.
Yeah, right. The nose tackle should never be offsides. He's right in front of the ball. Watch him. He's stunting to his right. You see him? He's going there. He's going to hit that gap between the center and the guard. He tried to bring his outside arm over. And so he was running a stunt there, and that's why he left a little early. He's still got to watch the ball.
1st and 5, Dallas at the 42. Aikman across the middle. Michael Irvin, first down at the 24-yard line, maybe the 23. Caught the ball in front of Perry Williams.
But you see how quickly he got rid of the ball? But watch on this end. You see how deep Williams is here? He's given too much of a cushion there. And as long as they're off like that, Michael Irvin will eat him up all day. You give him a cushion like that, all he does is come up and stop. He just threw the ball in front of him. That's not a pass pattern. But boy, did Troy Aikman get rid of that ball quickly.
Aikman off to a quick start, 3 of 3. Troy Aikman said he used a tubing device to increase his reaction away from center to get back and get set quicker. Across the middle, caught. 1st and goal, Dallas at the 5, Alfredo Roberts. 18-yard gain.
Yeah, we talked about in the pregame, this is a defense type of thing, and the Giant defense is not a dominant defense anymore. And even when they get a free guy, you see how quickly he's getting rid of the ball? That means those guys are getting open quickly, too. Because even when there was a free man, watch this, there's a guy come up free up the middle. Pepper Johnson is not even blocked. Aikman still gets the ball away and completed.
Irvin wide right, 1st and goal from the 5. Novacek in motion. Emmett Smith, same play they scored on Monday night. Touchdown, Dallas. And Emmett Smith skips a little bit, but not as much as he did Monday night.
Well, he doesn't really have a touchdown move yet, but I'll tell you, Emmett Smith gets a touchdown. The fans are booing the defense, but that was a great offensive drive by the Dallas Cowboys. Troy Aikman looked like an all-pro quarterback on that one. That is offense.
Smith from 5 yards out. Lynn Elliott will tack on the extra point or attempt to do so. And Dallas opens early with a mixture of runs and passes. Smith, the leading rusher in the National Football League in 1991. He gets the score from 5. And the Dallas Cowboys, who last won here 16-14 in Game 2 of '87, have an early lead.
Okay, so these guys may know a little more than we do about Bud.
Cowboys go 72 yards, 7 plays in the 4-11 mark. Emmett Smith gets the touchdown, and Dallas is up by 7. Philippi Sparks and Joey Smith are the 2 deep men. And this will be Phil Sparks, the rookie, at the 11-yard line on the short kickoff from Len Elliott. But he is down at the 20. That's a return of 9. Opening drive, and the Giants, who had problems tackling last week, did today as well.
Well, if we look at this play again, we'll see down here one thing. They start inside, so they get a little misdirection. I watch 70 right here. Leonard Marshall, he has to make that tackle there. But he does need some help from the inside. They get a good block on Howard. He doesn't get off. They just push the linebackers by, and it's not getting off blocks, and it's missed tackles, and that's bad defense.
Bill Sims at quarterback from the 21. Rodney Hampton and Jared Bunch behind him. Here's Hampton up the middle. And he gets a gain of a couple. Bill Sims starting for the 2nd week in succession. John Elliott, Roberts, Oates, Cratch, Riesenberg, and Howard Cross. Offensively, Hampton and Bunch the backfield. Mark Ingram and Stephen Baker are the wide receivers. Be a 2nd down and 8. said in the pregame show that New York last lost two in a row here in '82. That was 2 in a row to open the season. The last time they started the season 0-2 at home was in 1982. Here's Hampton. He is forced back inside where James Washington makes the tackle. Gain of 5. Defensively for the Cowboys, they have made vast improvement here in the last couple of years, and Charles Haley, recent acquisition from the 49ers, gets the start. Noonan, Casillas, and Tolbert. Russell Maryland will not play today. Linebackers are Norton and Smith alongside the rookie Robert Jones. And in the secondary, Brown and Holt in the corners. Ray Horton and James Washington are the safeties. 3rd down and 3. 7-0 Dallas. Bill Bates is in on the nickel defense, playing a middle linebacker spot right now. Sims across the middle. Howard Cross makes the catch short of the 1st down. And the Giants go 3 and out, John, to start the game.
Yeah, and that's the one thing they can't do. They have to control the ball. And the thing is, on 3rd down and 3, you can't run a 2-yard pattern. You just can't do it. If it's 3rd down and short, the guy has to run the pattern beyond the marker for the 1st down. To complete a pass on 3rd down, and especially when it's only 3rd and 3 and 4, and not get a 1st down is not good football.
That brings on Sean Landetta and means Kelvin Martin will have a chance to return it. He did so 79 yards against the Redskins on Monday night for a touchdown. Steve Diassi, the former Cowboy, will snap the ball. Here comes the pressure. They blocked it. And Robert Williams picks it up, struggles for the end zone. Touchdown, Dallas. For the 2nd week in as many, the Dallas Cowboys block a punt. It was Isaac Holt on Monday night. It was Ken Norton on Sunday afternoon.
You're right. It was Ken Norton, and Ken Norton came right up the middle free. I tell you, Jimmy Johnson says we got to get him on offense, we got to get him on defense, and we'll get one on special teams. Now watch Ken Norton right in the middle, 51. You see him? He goes by the fullback. That's 2 poor blocks. He should have been blocked on the line. The fullback should have blocked him. They both missed Norton straight up the middle. Watch this. Boom, there's a bad block there, and Norton makes a heck of an effort to block that punt.
Lynn Elliott with the extra point. It's good. In his career, Sean Landetta has had only 2 punts blocked. The last one was in 1987.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers, with a clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud. Mercedes-Benz, builder of fine automobiles since 1886. And by U.S. Air. Every time we fly, everywhere we go, everything we do, U.S. Air begins with you.
Emmitt Smith getting a new tape job on the Cowboy bench. Dallas up by 14. And the kickoff taken by Phil Sparks. Again, a short kick, but good downfield coverage at the 25-yard line.
Let's watch this block again. Here's Ken Norton, Vern. Now, it's tough for the center to snap and then block, but the fullback here, Ed Reynolds, has to come over and make a better block there. Watch Norton. He lines up sideways, and his first move, he hits that gap sideways. See it? Now, when Reynolds comes over right here, he should push him out. You got to get him out. You can't let him continue on that line. Reynolds didn't give enough of a shot to take him off the line, but it was a heck of an effort by Ken Norton Jr.
And a 1st down, Giants. Rodney Hampton stuffed, and the Bluebirds are out early. Robert Jones, the rookie linebacker, makes the tackle, and Ken Norton, who just had the block punt, is part of it as well.
Yeah, it was interesting. We talked to Dave Wanstad last night, who's a defensive coordinator, and he says we're going to do everything we have to early in the game to take away their run. When we talked to the Giants, they said we're going to come out running and establish a run. Now, what you do to do everything you have to is you get your safety involved, and they've had 8 men up there on 1st down in the line of scrimmage.
On 2nd down, Sims back with time into the flat for Jared Bunch, but he's caught by Norton and dropped at the 27, so it'll be 3rd and long. That's a gain of 6. Just one more note about the special teams. Jimmy Johnson said last night he thought they had a chance to win the running game or the offensive game and a chance to win the defensive game. He said, we will win the kicking game.
Yeah, and he does that with every game. He breaks it down in his matchups on offense, his matchup on defense, and his matchup in the kicking game. And he figures in any game you have to win 2 out of 3. When I asked him last night, what 2 out of 3 do you think you win? He says, I think we're going to win 3 out of 3 against the Giants.
3rd and 8. 4-man rush by the Cowboys, and Sims, good coverage downfield, has to scramble, comes up short. Last week against the 49ers, on 6 of 12 possessions, the Giants had 3 plays and a punt, and they're 0 for 2 to start.
Yeah, that's a problem, and again, there's nothing there. They try and go to the run. They go to the run on 1st down. They lose yardage. They get in 3rd and long. They've never been a good 3rd and long team, but that first 3rd down, when they had 3rd and short, they should have completed something for a 1st down on that team.
Now Sean Landeta back to punt again.
The Cowboys just look a heck of a lot quicker in every area than the Giants.
Yes, they do. Dallas has blocked 6 punts in the last 11 games, including the playoffs. Including 2 for 2 this year. Come again! I'm not sure whether Ken Gant got a hand on that or not. 29, Ken Gant was there.
I think he did get a hand on it. He says he got a hand on it. I think he got a left hand on it. They got Norton. He came from the inside. Gant on that one came from the outside. Watch it here. Gant is number 29. The snap is a little low. Now watch Gant's left hand right there. See, he stuck it out, and he did get it.
That counts as a block. That's 2 in the game. One-time head coach at Oregon State, Joe Avezzano, special teams coach of the Cowboys the last couple of years, and he must be beaming with pride right now.
Well, I'll tell you, most special teams coaches do have a lot of pride. They practice out all the time, and the Cowboys have turned into one of the best special teams in football.
Look at Emmitt Smith scoot through the right side for a gain of 8.
Let's look at that last block. Here's Gant this time. The outside guy steps out to get him. Again, the fullback is looking in here. He has to come to get Gant. He gets there too late, and he lets Gant get his left hand on it. Poor Ed Reynolds, he missed the first thing. Now he missed Gant on that one, and that is a tough one.
Ray Hanley, in the meantime, and this was moments ago, was on the phone with his staff upstairs, visibly disturbed. 2nd down and 2. Alfredo Roberts. Hands off to Smith. They come left. And boy, did Darrell Johnson put Lawrence Taylor on his back. A pancake.
I'll tell you, they did, but the next guy up, the problem they had last week is the same problem. Everson Walls came up in force, and he has to make that play. Now, what can happen is Taylor can take on that block. If we look at it here, here's Taylor. Now, when you get the force up here, he has to make the play. But watch Taylor, as the tight end comes into him and comes off him, he takes on the fullback. Now, if we stop it here, this guy here, he's the force. He has to make the play. Walls misses that tackle, and that's what causes the 1st down.
Into the flat. Smith chased by Banks and Collins. Out of bounds at the 30-yard line. That's a gain of 5.
You know, in every game, and Jimmy Johnson was talking about it last night, if you look at the 1st down average, this tells a big story right here. The Cowboys are doing everything right. The Giants are doing nothing right, but you have to have something that you can change the momentum with. When momentum starts going against you, whether it's a special teams play, an offensive play, or a defensive play, you need something to change the momentum. The Giants need a play now on defense to change this momentum.
Aikman looks left. That isn't it. The catch made in front of Perry Williams by Michael Irvin. 1st down at the 15. And Troy Aikman, John, is 6 of 6 to start the game.
And again, they're playing off on Irvin. You see down here in the bottom, they're playing that soft zone or whatever, and they're just letting him just run up, turn around, and catch the ball. He's not even running a pattern. They're not getting real pressure on Troy Aikman, and of course he has good pass protection. He's getting the ball away quickly. Troy Aikman is giving a clinic here on this first quarter.
3 minutes remaining. Dallas up by 14. Roberts, Emmett Smith rather, tries to get by Marshall, and there's the first big defensive charge by the Giants. A loss of 1 for Emmett Smith.
That's what Emmett Smith says, that the Giants, he's never gained 100 yards against the Giants. And one of the things he says is they make you go one way. They don't give you a two-way go. They don't let you cut back. And that time he tried to cut back, and Leonard Marshall was right there waiting for him. Watch this collision there with Johnston. You see, and then when he tries to cut back, there was Marshall waiting and, more importantly, making a tackle.
2nd down, 11. There's a big play. Pepper Johnson. That one looked awful from the start offensively.
Yeah, it looked like either Troy Aikman went the wrong way in the draw or Emmett Smith went the wrong way in the draw. But this is a defensive momentum type of play that the Giants have to change. Something where you go in. You see here's a ball right here. He's trying to hand it off. You can't reach it. Here comes Pepper. He's going to zero in on that thing. I think that Emmett Smith saw Pepper coming and didn't want to step over to Aikman, and Aikman just held the ball out there.
Third and 16, Dallas from the 21. Right side, incomplete. Giants hold. We'll see Lynn Elliott.
The Giant defense did get their momentum changer right there. It was a cutback that Leonard Marshall made a good tackle on, and then Pepper Johnson makes a play on a blitz. They finally stopped the Cowboys. Now they have to do something here, then get the ball and get back in and make a game out of this.
Lynn Elliott, the rookie free agent from Texas Tech, won the job in the last preseason game. Ousted Brad Daloiso. Missed from 32 last week. 39-yard effort. Got it. His first in the NFL. Ray Hanley's defense does stop Dallas. They come away with only 3. .123 to go. Opening quarter, and the Cowboys up 17-0. Lynn Elliott will kick off. His first 2 have been short. Cowboys 7 first downs and 17 points. The Giants on offense 3 plays and out twice. Joey Smith, number 88, one of 2 deep men. And this will be Smith to return from the 1. He's knocked down at the 15-yard line. Bill Bates.
Yeah, Bates were down there.
You knew that'd be part of it, right?
Yeah, isn't he something? Bill Bates has been there for 10 years. On the flip card of the program they have here, they have him as a 20-year veteran. And of course, it seems like Bill Bates has been around for 20 years. And every time you look on any kick or any big hit, there's always going to be a number 40 around there. But you're going to see him. Here comes Smith. Boom! There's Bill Bates. That's what you call paint to paint, hat to hat.
That's the gentle young father of triplets, Bill Bates.
I tell you, he's a heck of a guy.
Yes, he is.
And he's a good man, and he's always been fun and good guy for the game.
Wife Denise back home watching, I'm sure. With their 4 children, they have the 3+1, and there was a penalty on the Giants. That's all they need on the kickoff, so it's half the distance, and they are back at their own 8-yard line.
And there's a new guy for the Cowboys that over the season is really going to help him, number 94, Charles Haley, because he's one of the best pass rushers in the National Football League.
Up the middle, gets it out near the 10-yard line.
Cowboys are ganging up on him. Over there, they're talking to Emmitt Smith, but on defense, the Cowboys are not going to let the Giants run on first down. So the Giants somewhere are going to have to start passing on first down because they're putting 8 and 9 men up on the line of scrimmage. As Dave Wanstead said last night, they are not going to run against us early in the game.
Second down and 8. Sims will throw deep left side. Stephen Baker out of bounds and incomplete. And it'll be 3rd and long.
And this is the thing. The worst thing for a team is go 1, 2, 3 punt because your offense doesn't get anything going. Your defense doesn't get any rest, you know, so they just get off and they have to get right back in there. And that's the way you can really get whipped when your offense can't keep the ball a little while.
Ray Hanley said yesterday morning he wanted to control the ball on offense. They've done anything but that. Sims flushed out. Throws up a duck as he's in. It's incomplete. It was Charles Haley right in his face.
I tell you, Charles Haley, he has a lot of power, and then he has the speed because Charles Haley's going to call him all the way from the other side. You see him on top of the screen, 94. He starts in the stunt. He's double teamed. Now watch him come off the double team right here and explode. Now he's going to explode right into Phil Sims. He can not only get off the double team, but he can get off it and then go quickly. Charles Haley can rush like a defensive lineman, and he has the speed of a linebacker.
For the 3rd time in a row, it's 3 out. Landeta does get this one away. The crowd cheers with derision. And Kelvin Martin is knocked down by Lamar McGriggs, but the Cowboys have it at the 39-yard line.
Last night I was watching Julio Cesar Chavez against Macho Camacho, and Chavez was just too quick for him. And now as I watch the Cowboys against the Giants, it looks like that kind of fight that everything the Cowboys are doing. Sometimes you're bigger and stronger, but in this game, in this first quarter, I just get the feeling that everything the Cowboys are doing is much quicker than the Giants.
They lead it 17-0 with 19 seconds to go. Play action. Aikman looks deep, settles short for Emmitt Smith. Here's Lawrence Taylor, and he tries to get him out of bounds, does so at the 20.
I tell you, no pass rush at all that time, Vern, and Lawrence Taylor 5 years ago would have knocked Emmitt Smith up halfway up in the bleachers on that one. These aren't the same Giants, but I'll tell you, first of all, Aikman has way too much time. Look at this pass protection here. No one gets there. No one gets there. He gives them that time, he's going to kill him.
That's the end of the first quarter. It has been all Dallas. Our score, the Cowboys 17, the Giants 6.
American League West Bowl, the Rangers, next Saturday on CBS.
Back for the start of quarter number 2, Vern Lundquist, John Madden from Giant Stadium. Yesterday, the Cowboys arrived and went through what they call a walkthrough. They were well dressed for the walkthrough.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, they were kind of ugly. Here's their offense. Troy Aikman breaks the huddle. That's Emmitt Smith. He's in the backfield. There's Michael Irvin. He's checking. Michael Irvin is one of those guys that always wants to look good. You know, you don't want any of that chalk to get out there. They don't even have a ball.
Yeah, they got a little pregame talk from the well-dressed coach. I guess Robert Jones, the middle linebacker, was judged to be the least successfully dressed among the group. Irvin said he's got a lot to learn. First down and 10, Dallas. Emmitt Smith to the 18. That's a gain of 2. Carl Banks and Eric Dorsey with the tackle.
You know, if you look at Troy Aikman, they haven't sacked him. They've hurried him one time, and they haven't knocked him down. The thing is you're not going to sack a good NFL quarterback a lot. I mean, I know Bernie Kosar got it 11 times last week, but the thing that you still have to do is you still have to knock him down, and you have to be around him. And the Giants are not even getting around Troy Aikman now in the passing rush.
Johnson lines up wide left. Aikman back. Looks in the right side. Fires. Incomplete. Caught out of bounds. Urban. Michael Urban, who ended a long holdout just last week.
He had the knee out of bounds. One knee equals 2 feet. So
I read that somewhere.
Yeah, if the knee goes out of bounds, that's out. Michael Irvin says the toughest thing he had to do was get used to getting hit. And after the game, he said the thing that hurt was his shoulders and his neck. The other things you have to get used to is get your eyes to stop bouncing on you when you run. You know, when you run, you're a receiver, you're running out for a pass in football, you can't have your eyes bouncing when the ball's in the air.
I would think not. 3rd and 8. Aikman, pressure from Canavis McGee into the end zone, incomplete. Calvin Martin covered by Mark Collins and Greg Jackson, and Lynn Elliott comes on to try his second field goal.
Now, Lawrence Taylor got a little pressure there. I think Leonard Marshall must be hurt because he hasn't been in there, and of course he's one of the best, well, in fact he's their best defensive line rusher. The only other rusher they have is Lawrence Taylor, and that's really one of the things that they're lacking. I mean, you just can't all be on one guy, especially when that one guy ain't the guy he used to be.
Lynn Elliott from 35 yards to pad the lead. This would make it 20-0. Berline will hold. Splits the uprights. It has been all Dallas, and it continues that way as they extend the lead to 20. Race.
This game summary is sponsored by Budweiser.
The second time in 2 years the Dallas Cowboys get 2 blocked punts in a game. They did it last year against Houston. They have overwhelmed New York offensively, and the Giants are still looking for their first down of the ball game.
And you know, the thing is, the Cowboys have blocked 2. Last year they did it against Houston, as you said, but the game isn't over yet either.
$20-0. 14:03 to go before halftime. Bill Bates, star of the special teams during his tenure in Dallas.
You know what his nickname was in grammar school? Bully. Bully Bill Bates. The teacher wrote that in his thing, called him Bully. Bully Billy Bates. BBB.
Anything but.
Yeah, triple B.
Joey Smith. Bill Bates. 16-yard return. Right now, back across the Hudson, here's Greg.
At RFK Stadium in Washington, the Redskins on the board first. Mark Rippon to Ernest Biner, 5 yards in the touchdown. 12:55 to play in the first half there. The Redskins lead the Falcons 7-0. Vern?
All right, Greg, 20-0 here, 13:55 to go before halftime, and the Giants in desperate need of some offensive firepower. Still looking for their first down of the ball game. Sims left side. Dropped by Stephen Baker. Larry Brown was there defensively. Larry Brown, the 12th round draft choice of a year ago, John, who's put on some weight.
Well, you know what he did? He put on 20 pounds in the off season, and he's been probably the most impressive player in the Cowboy camp this year. In fact, in the morning, he went to TCU. He lived halfway between TCU, where he went to college, and the Cowboys facility. He went to school in the morning and then went every day to work out with the Cowboys facility. He got his degree and gained 20 pounds and speed.
Sims, right side. McCaffrey. And the flag is down. That probably will give the Giants that first down.
The Giants have really done something different here to change the momentum, Vern. On this drive, they come out and started with 3 wide receivers. because the Cowboys were really ganging up in the run.
Number 26, 5 yards. We've attacked on the end play. First down.
That's Eric Howard, the big nose tackle that they're working on. It looks like sometimes a brace will come off, or sometimes a guy doesn't think he needs a brace, and then he needs it. Or sometimes he thinks he needs it and doesn't need it. It looked like there they were taking Eric Howard's brace off. To do that, you also have to take your pants off.
I noticed that. First down and 10. Hampton. Casillas is the second man through, and Hampton gains 2 yards.
You know, the old Bill Walsh theory is the way to open up the run is to start passing, and that's probably what the Giants have to do is you can come out running and then go to the pass, or you can come out passing, loosen them up, and then go to the run. And sometimes if you really want to run the way the Giants want to run, you have to loosen them up first. And they're doing that now with 3 wide receivers.
Second down and 8. Audible by Sims. Flags are down. Sims goes deep for Baker. With Brown back there, and he tips it away. 2 flags are down. Really good coverage from Larry Brown.
That's the thing, when you can do that and let your guy play man-to-man all over the field, and that's what Brown can do now. You know, he was a heck of a story. A year ago, he came in as a 12th round draft choice and became a starter. But they said he wasn't a real good worker.
Defense is in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
That's Charles Haley, so the Giants get 5 yards on the penalty.
Now, what they're saying is Haley right here is lined up in the neutral zone, which is the length of the football. Now, he looks like his hand and everything there. He doesn't look like he lined up in any neutral zone.
Second and short, Sims right side. There's a bump and incidental contact. It's an incomplete pass. No flag. Back to New York. Here's Greg.
Vern and John have a good one for you. The punt to Washington. Brian Mitchell laterals to Desmond Howard, and the #1 draft pick scores his first touchdown in the NFL. That play covers 58 yards. 14-0 Redskins. Second quarter, Vern.
The Heisman pose.
No, but you know, he's gonna be a real impact player in this league, though, Desmond Howard, and it's not going to be long either.
3rd and 3. Dave Meggett in. Cowboys bring 4. Sims is flushed and dropped. And again, the Giants have to give up the football.
The Cowboys have their #1 draft choice in there, Kevin Smith now. We saw on that play that was defensed over there on second down. He was the guy who did it. Dave Wanstead and Jimmy Johnson said, we just want to get him open. We just want to get him into play. And they're doing that. But if you can look here, you see here's Sims back here to throw, but there's no one open. Who are you going to throw to? That is excellent coverage.
Landetta on to punt with 11:45 to go in the first half. 20-0 Dallas. Kelvin Martin waits for it. Dallas has blocked 2 punts. Not this one. Fair catch called by Martin, who will let it bounce. It does, and goes out of bounds at the 19-yard line. A 36-yard punt, nothing on the return. Dallas gets it back.
Here's with Golden Palace and Bob. Friday.
11:31 to go first half from Giants Stadium, where the Cowboys have dominated. They're up 20-0. Helped in no small measure by 2 blocked punts. You saw moments ago that punt return by Desmond Howard. We'll give you a quick update. Deion Sanders, who just reported, returned the ensuing kickoff 100 yards for Atlanta. They do have a heck of a game going. Emmitt Smith, Lawrence Taylor, and Pepper Johnson.
You know, in the pregame show, Deion Sanders was saying that he's not going to return punts, but he didn't say he wasn't going to return kickoffs. And if Deion Sanders can't come in a game and run one back for 100 after playing baseball, he's not Deion Sanders, but that's what makes him Deion Sanders.
Boy, does it. Oh. Second down and 8. Dallas opened with a 72-yard drive. Emmett Smith for a touchdown. On the Giants' next and opening possession, they blocked the punt. Ken Norton. Robert Williams recovered for a touchdown. And then 2 Lynn Elliott field goals. And this one will be brought back. By the way, Leonard Marshall is on the Giant bench with a knee injury, and Mike Fox has taken his spot. We are told that it's probable for a Marshall return.
Number 79 offense, 5 yards, still second down.
Number 79 is Eric Williams, and he had to block against Lawrence Taylor. I found out that over the years, the guy that has to block Lawrence Taylor will have more false starts than anyone in football. The guy who has to block Charles Haley will have a lot of false starts. The guy that has to block Reggie White will have a lot of false starts. But that one should be given to Lawrence Taylor. In fact, the last 2 plays in a row.
Aikman back into the front. Overthrows Darrell Johnston, who was open.
But you know, this offensive line of the Cowboys has been doing a pretty good job of pass protecting for Aikman. You see, you start off and you double that nose. Now that means that you're not going to get any pressure right up the middle. So he's going to be able to step up. And they step down and aggressively take on that nose tackle with a double. That makes him think it's a run. So he's not going to get a push in Aikman's face.
Troy Aikman hit his first 6 passes, but he is 1 of his last 5. And he's got a 3rd and 13. Blitz coming. Draw play. Emmett Smith out to the 24, where the Cowboys will punt on 4th down.
He almost ran into his own guy. His right tackle, Eric Williams, was coming across to block a linebacker, couldn't find a guy, and Emmett Smith had to hold up for him. Watch 79 come across. He doesn't find anyone to block, and Emmett Smith runs right into him. If Williams would have turned up and looked for a blue jersey, maybe that could have been a 1st down.
Saxon, who had a big night Monday night. Dave Meggett, who's had many big Sunday afternoons and Monday night, waits for it. Meggett has been injured since the 2nd game of preseason. He's not at 100% at all. Here's Saxon's punt. And it's going to be down by the Cowboys at the 39-yard line. Well, I thought he was touched at the 39, but apparently not. At any rate, New York gets it back.
Hey, a terrific doubleheader on CBS next Sunday, including Niners, Jets, then Lions, Redskins. Oh, I'm a big fan.
9:21 to go, 2nd quarter. Cowboys up by 20. Jeff Hostetler relegated thus far to a role of observer and holder for extra points and field goals if the Giants score, but they have not had any succession moving the ball. 2 punts blocked, and then 3 plays in a punt, 5 plays in a punt. Their last 2 first downs, they have continued to run the ball. Thus far, 10 yards on the ground for the Giants, 6 carries. See if they throw on 1st down here. They will. Maybe. And they do, but not with much success. That's Howard Carr. It's Rodney Hampton for a gain of 2. And Ken Norton with the tackle.
You know, one thing, it looks like the receivers didn't run much of a pattern here. You know, it's easy to blame the quarterback, but watch these 2 receivers here. I don't know what kind of pattern they're going, because Sims is coming back. He is looking to throw over here, and they don't even look like they're running a pattern to me. I mean, he's looking, and they're not ready when he was ready to throw. You see that? So part of it, the receivers have to get open, too.
Draw play, Hampton. Ken Gant makes the tackle at the 45-yard line. Gain of 4.
Ball carried by Ashton. Brought down.
3rd down.
Yeah, one thing, the Cowboys came out and said that we are not going to let them run in that 1st half. We're not going to let them start off running the ball, and Dave Wannstedt said that, and I'll tell you, you said they had 6 carries for 10 yards, and that is not letting them run the ball. And they forced the Giants into a different game now.
They'll go from the shotgun on 3rd and 4 with Meggett alongside Sims. He has to stay. Ken Gant comes on the blitz.
And that's what helps when you have a Charles Haley, too, because it's going to be coming. You see on the side here, see, here's Haley. Now, everyone is pointing here, and then you can always come inside of a good pass rusher on a blitz. Now, watch what happens here. They want to blitz the side of Meggett. Meggett takes him. See, right now, here comes Gant. No one can do anything about it. Meggett blocks there. Here's Elliott there. And then Gant comes free, and there's nothing Phil Simms can do about that one.
That's a loss of 9 and brings on Landetta. Kelvin Martin waits at the 25-yard line. Martin with a fair catch. Makes the grab at the 35. Well, things have settled down in the ball game, but the Cowboys are still up by 20 with 7:20 to go first half.
A look behind the scenes as sports and science converge, brought to you by AT&T.
Play at Giant Stadium. Vern Lundquist along with John Madden, and the Giants on the wrong end of it thus far from every perspective.
You know, and the Cowboys are just too quick for them, and they're doing some interesting things like that last blitz. You know, anytime you put Hampton in there, they want to bring someone to make Hampton block. Now, this time what they did is they brought Bates. That made Hampton block. Boom, Elliott has to take him. Now, Gant is right here like he's covering. Boom, they bring him after Bates comes. You see, they bring him in behind. That's an interesting blitz. Elliott has to take Haley. Meggett has to take Bates. Gant looks like he's covering, so they delay him, and there's no way they can block him.
Aikman back, left side. Incomplete. Phil Simms chatting with the coaching staff upstairs.
Well, he's just trying to get something started. Like I said, they've had to change their game plan. They had a game plan that they were going to run, take it to them, control the ball. They haven't been able to do that. Then they've had to change to going 3 wide receivers to try and open them up and loosen them up. And, of course, the other thing is you're playing with a 20-point deficit.
Second down and 10. Johnston in motion. Emmett Smith goes by Steve Diassi. And then Carl Banks grabs him and knocks him down after a gain of 5.
I'll tell you, he really has some moves. He is a fun guy to watch. Emmett Smith, he says, you know, he said, I'm a finesse runner. He said, now, finesse doesn't mean that I'm a soft runner. He said, don't think that I'm soft because I'm a finesse. It just means I got moves. Look at that. I mean, that's shaking and baking. I mean, he's got guys are flying by him. They finally get in there. But just watch these moves. I mean, how do you do that? I'd like to just borrow that body one day just to make some moves and some skips and some hops like that.
Somehow I can't see you in that body.
No, but it would just be a nice feeling to be able to move. Boom, boom, boom. Move like that.
Third down, Novacek. First down, Dallas, the 46. Renee Thompson makes the tackle. That's a gain of 6 yards.
That's slipping the ball in there. Troy Aikman was talking about Novacek. We know one of his favorite receivers, but Novacek was also holding out with Michael Irvin. Troy Aikman used to get the plays, then he would write his notes on them, then he would fax them to Novacek. And one day he faxed 26 pages of new plays and notes to Novacek. Now that's a modern era, and maybe that makes him make catches like this. I mean, that's a heck of a throw. How you throw that ball in there was almost deflected. And that's what you call concentration by a receiver.
Eric Howard limps over to the sideline. Problem is still there, whatever it was, and John Washington is taking his place. Into the flat, Emmett Smith one-on-one with Pepper Johnson, and Johnson, pretty good job of containing him, a gain of 2.
Yeah, that's a tough thing. Pepper Johnson did a good job because to be isolated, Pepper Johnson weighs 250 pounds, and to be isolated in the open field against Emmett Smith is no easy job. But the thing that Pepper didn't do, and the thing a linebacker can't do, is you can't commit yourself. You just have to kind of wait there, let him make all his moves, and when he's done, boom, take him to the ground.
Report from the bench for Eric Howard, a sprained knee, so he joins Leonard Marshall on the injured list for now. Second down and 8. There's going to be a holding call on Novacek that will bring this, wipe this play out.
Yeah, Aikman started out on that first drive, the first couple drives, and everything was so smooth that in this second quarter, that passing offense isn't going quite as smoothly. Sometimes a quarterback, I remember when I had Kenny Stabler, when he would get ahead, he used to get a little bored. When he'd get bored, he'd get a little sloppy. And I think that the Cowboy offense, after getting a 20-point lead, has gotten a little sloppy.
Number 84 offense, 10 yards, still second down.
That's the 4th penalty against the Cowboys. Yeah, things really have slowed down offensively for Dallas. Second down and 18. They're up by 20. And Phil Simms still warming up. By the way, a reconfirmation of the injury to Eric Howard. It is a sprained knee, and now we're told he's not expected back in the ballgame. Leonard Marshall could return. Second down, 18, 4:30 remaining first half. Cowboys up 20-0. Aikman, Allen Harper, a little bit behind him, but perhaps catchable. Not sure.
Yeah, I think that again, Aikman in that first quarter was very, very sharp, and hasn't been quite as sharp. And the Giants, of course, are changing up some defenses too. I think that the Giants started off the first quarter, they were a little soft, and I think they've gotten a little more aggressive on defense. I think they're playing the defensive pass coverages a little more aggressively.
3rd and 18. Harper near side against Mark Collins. Irvin and Martin on the far side. Blitz. Aikman. That's complete at the 49-yard line, but the Cowboys will punt it again after the gain of 11, as Alvin Harper, who had that spectacular grab Monday night, makes the catch here.
Yeah, it's hard to come up with a play for 2nd and 20, and I think all you're trying to do is pick up 10 more yards of field position, and that's exactly what that play did.
Mike Saxon will punt. Dave Meggett hoping to return. Suffered a foot injury in the first half of the Cleveland game in preseason week 2, and then had muscle spasms last week early in the game, so he's really not 100% at all. Here's Meggett, fair catch at the 12. 39-yard punt. Nothing on the return. 20-0. The Giants with 1 first down thus far in the ball game. 3:27 to go before halftime. Well, it is a spectacular September day for a barbecue.
Well, you know, last week I was really disappointed in the Giant parking lot. They all they had was wine and stuff.
Right there,
there, I mean, this is meat. Baby. Look at that. I mean, that's the way. If you're going to tailgate, man, I mean, get something that's going to sink. Get some sinkers in there, some stuff that, you know, get some
good ones here.
Some meat and let it stick to your bone. I don't like that. They burn that.
I'd eat it.
Okay. Read them Giants.
Yeah, that was good. I mean, that was good old meat, some big old sandwiches and big old steaks. Send some of that.
Hampton, Danny Noonan reaches out and grabs him. And they run on first down again. Well, it has not been a wide open offensive game plan. They've stuck to the ground on most of their first downs. Danny Noonan, the subject of trade rumors in Dallas. The Cowboy defense. 24 total yards allowed thus far.
They've done it with a lot of different guys, too.
And the chant begins around the stadium. Ray must go. They waited until the 4th quarter the other night. Here's Howard Cross. And that will quiet the chant and give the Giants a first down. Ray Hanley, who said yesterday, yeah, I really did hear him. But wearing a double headset helps keep out the crowd noise.
Yeah, you see he has one ear there for offense and one ear for defense. And he says he doesn't hear as much as you would think they would hear. But I know, being down there in the sideline, if they start chanting, "You must go," I'll guarantee you hear it.
Blitz. They get to Sims, incomplete. Norton was there, and Gant was there, and Haley was there.
See, what the Cowboys do such a good job of coaching is changing momentum. You know, it looked like the Giants completed a pass. It looks like they're going to get some momentum, and then they bring all these guys up, and boom, they just come after you. And they always have a free guy there that you can't block. And if you're going to come in there, you're not going to get a sack. You're not going to get an interception. But you see what they did? They knocked the quarterback down. You got to do that.
Jim Jeffcoat, first-round draft choice in 1983, and has moved inside on passing downs. Now that's where he is. Sims steps up, lets it go short, and Howard Cross makes the catch. It'll be 3rd and 5. 2 block punts for the Cowboys. A touchdown run from Emmitt Smith. 2 field goals from Lynn Elliott, all of which means a 20-0 lead.
Gray.
On the right side of the screen, the offensive and defensive coordinator, I beg your pardon, Dave Wanstead of the Cowboys.
And he's really been mixing up the defenses today. You know, we saw on first down they blitz, and now on second down they drop out of linemen and only rush 3. So we saw him come real heavy and then come right back down and only bring 3 guys. We see him bring 7. We see him bring 8. We see him bring 4, 5. That time they dropped the tackle out of there, Jimmy Jones, and only brought 3.
4 wide receivers for New York on 3rd down. 3 of them on the left side. 5-man rush. Sims, Gant tipped away, no flag. Ken Gant, who's having a big first half.
I say, yeah, I mean, this Gant better watch out or he's going to be the player of the game. I mean, the guy's blocking punts. He's knocking balls down. He's making tackles on special teams. Number 29's been all over the place.
Kenneth Gant with the knockdown, and Sean Landetta on to punt for the 5th time in the first half. 2 have been blocked. Kelvin Martin, a 79-yard punt return for a touchdown last week. It was a year ago that Martin returned 185 yards on the road in Philadelphia. A play Jimmy Johnson said was the biggest of the year. That ensured a victory and got Dallas into the playoffs. From the 12. DeOssie saved a bunch. 15-yard return. And the tackle by the former Cowboy, Steve DeOssie. .144 remaining before halftime when we go back across the Hudson for the halftime report. Greg and Terry with all the scores and highlights, plus a preview of the men's championship from the U.S. Open. And if you missed the Edberg-Chang match yesterday in the semis, you missed a terrific athletic contest. It'll be Stefan Edberg, and Pete Sampras. Tampa rolling over Green Bay. 1:44 before halftime. 20-0. Aikman, not sure where that was intended.
Well, again, Aikman hasn't been as sharp in this second quarter after they got this big lead. He had a heck of a start and then an average second quarter. And, you know, the rush has gotten a little more aggressive, but not a big rush. I think it's just that they're showing him some different coverages. And Aikman is looking in the middle area, and the stuff that they're giving him now is the shorter stuff.
2nd and 10. Smith out to the 32-yard line, and Mark Collins indicates that the Giants want to stop the clock. Giants with the use of their first timeout. They have 2 left and 1:29 to go before halftime.
And they would like to just get something before halftime. And you know, the Giants are not a good team when they get behind 20-0. Now, I don't know that there's a lot of teams that can do it, but the big offensive teams like Redskins and, you know, Buffalo Bills and John Elway can make comebacks. But the Giant team has always been a conservative offense and a dominant defense. And when you don't have that dominant defense and you still have the conservative offense left, that's what we're seeing here today.
There's Rod Rust, defensive coordinator in his first year with the Giants, but a long-time defensive coordinator in the National Football League. And much conversation among his players this week about the need for a more aggressive defense. John has talked about that in the pregame and throughout. 3rd and 7. Calvin Martin. First down, Dallas at their own 46-yard line.
Yeah, and that timeout, I think they saw, and the Dallas Cowboy coaches probably saw that same thing, that the Giants started taking away that intermediate and giving that shorter stuff. And I think that's exactly the area that they went to, and they hit Calvin Martin coming across on that one. Because you can see he was 7 out of 8 in the first quarter for 93 yards. In the second quarter, just 5 out of 11 for 38 yards. Part of it Aikman, part of it Giant defense.
Gain of 14 on the last play. And he gets by Mark Collins. Michael Irvin trying to help offensively. And that's a 13-yard gain.
Yeah, see, that's the thing that you have to do, is you have to pass protect. Now watch here. Eric Williams is doing a good job on Lawrence Taylor. Taylor's the only guy that gets any pressure whatsoever. Look, if 56 isn't right there, there's not going to be anyone else around him. Aikman has the time, and he finds Novacek under there. I mean, Taylor is not the linebacker he used to be, but he is now the only guy out there on the field that can put any pressure at all on Aikman.
Giants are going with Mike Fox and Eric Dorsey as down linemen. They're sending 4 as Taylor and Banks go. The pass deep for Michael Irvin. Incomplete with Collins defending.
Michael Irvin was saying that last week, you know, he'd been holding out, and he was saying that he was so tired his legs were shaking, and he started talking to his legs. But watch this. You can throw deep, you can throw short, you can throw anywhere if you have that kind of time. Now, this offensive line of the Cowboys throughout this first half has done an outstanding job of pass protection.
That's an offensive line that reads with Tuanay, Newton, Cornish, Giesick, and Williams. 1:10 to go before halftime. 2nd down and 10. Left side. Calvin Martin breaks the tackle, flies down the sidelines. Out of bounds in the vicinity of the 14-yard line.
And that's what's been killing the Giants for 2 years. We just saw in another first down, Mark Collins missed a tackle. Over on that side, it was Everson Walls. And on defense, the first thing you have to do, they can talk about system, this system, that system, this coach, that coach, but you have to tackle. The other thing you have to do is you have to knock the quarterback down. But they just haven't had it. And this isn't something that just has happened to the Giants today. This is the thing I was talking about, that a quarterback controversy has been a deodorant for a defense that hasn't played well since Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick left.
Everson Walls with this missed tackle. And a first down at the 14. Aikman with all day into the flat for Emmett Smith, who is out of bounds, stopping the clock after a gain of 4 at the 10-yard line.
Emmett Smith is a fun guy, isn't he? I mean, he's one of those guys that has a bounce in his walk and comes to play, enjoys playing, takes care of everyone. In fact, he led the league last year in rushing, and before the Redskin game on Monday night, he put a Rolex watch in every one of his offensive linemen's locker. Now that's class.
It's tough to go up in class from there.
Now he said he needs a partner, so he's going to bring in Aikman next year as a partner.
Smith breaks another tackle, and he's down at the 3-yard line. The Cowboys have 3 timeouts left. They will probably use one here.
Watch this move. Yeah, now you have to block some of them, but Emmett Smith will take care of some of them too. Look at my man Nate Newton. He comes around there, gets a little block and a little grab. But again, it's poor tackling. I mean, you know, I know it's Emmett Smith. I know, but as you watch here, you got to wrap him up and you got to get him down. You can't let him run through tackles like that.
Emmitt Smith, 1,500 plus a year ago. First Cowboy to ever lead the NFL in rushing.
You know, and they really haven't just gone in one area. If you look, he's run to the left 4 times, the middle 4 times, and to the right 4 times. He's made 18 yards to the right and 18 yards to the left, so that's pretty good balance. You know Emmitt Smith is going to get the ball, but this shows you once he gets it, you don't know where he's going to go with it.
First and goal from the 2. This is the 5th time Emmitt Smith has faced the Giants. As John said earlier, he's never gained 100 or more. Best was 97 here last year.
I would bet that he would get the ball down here with Johnston, the blocker.
395. Play fake. Aikman looking for Novacek. To Novacek, touchdown. With McGriggs in his face, Aikman finds his tight end.
That's why he was faxing in the plays and the notes. That's one that he faxed him. When everyone thinks we're going to run to Emmitt Smith, I'm going to fake to Emmitt Smith, and I'll throw it out there to you. That was a note that he put in the fax. Watch the fake. Now, when you fake to Emmitt Smith, that's going to draw a crowd. Look, he jumps. Look at the crowd that it draws. Now, one of the things that Aikman does well, as you said, there's a guy in his face. Aikman throws well when there's a guy in his face. In fact, Aikman may throw better than anyone else in the league with a guy in his face.
Troy Aikman with the touchdown pass to Jay Novacek. And with 2 seconds plus a half a minute to go in the first half, the Cowboys trying to win here for the first time since 87. Are up by 27. Excuse me.
You know what I was talking about? Watch the crowd here that Emmitt Smith draws. He keeps everyone in there, and then Aikman can get to the outside. McGriggs is there, and that's a heck of a throw. I mean, that's like throwing, those pitchers that throw the ball sidearm. What's the effect on the middle of the line? Here comes Emmitt Smith. Boom! Here comes all the defense. Whoa! Where's the ball, y'all? It's out there. We are on the road to a route. En route to a route. En route to a route.
Take your pick. Novacek gets it.
Novacek's an old cowboy out of Wyoming.
Yep.
Here you think a tight end, the guy who catches all that. Well, he's in Wyoming. He's in a ranch in Wyoming.
And what an acquisition for Dallas. 59 catches last year and the year before. Here's Joey Smith near the 25. Cowboys leading by 27 as Lynn Elliott comes to the sidelines. What a tussle they're having at RFK.
The Redskins really haven't gotten in sync since the Super Bowl, and they're not the same team yet. I think they're going to be a lot better team in midseason than they are now.
Detroit over Minnesota. Detroit and Washington, second game of our doubleheader next week. Here's Sims. Left side. It can't hang on.
When stuff like that happens, you know that they're getting frustrated. When you have to find the kicker just standing around and come up and hit him in the back from behind, you know that you are part of frustration.
Well, the Giants are going to have to score 28 to win this game. And in all of last year, they never scored more than 24.
You know why the Cowboys are so excited? I was talking to Jimmy Johnson before the game, and he was worried about a screen pass. They just threw it there, and they ate it up.
That's the end of the first half with our score. The Dallas Cowboys 27 and the New York Giants goose eggs.
CBS sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Levi's Dockers. Nobody does color like Dockers. Chevy. CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by AT&T. More ways to help you stay in touch. Valvoline Motor Oil. People who know use Valvoline. And by the people at Nike, who encourage you to just do it.
Sellout crowd at Giant Stadium again, and Giant fans have not been happy with what they've witnessed. 27-0. Troy Aikman and the Cowboy offense start off big, then they get the special teams, and the defense has played consistent throughout, John.
You know, and they've just had everything going. I mean, Dallas is just a much better team, and it may be a changing of the guard we're seeing here, that the Giants were a dominant team 2 years ago. They were a Super Bowl team, and the Cowboys were, you know, down towards the bottom. Now we may see something where the Cowboys look like a legitimate Super Bowl contender. I don't mean to say that in the second game. It's too soon.
I could see the headlines.
Yeah, but I mean, no, but it's that type of thing. And the Giants are no longer a Super Bowl contender, and where they just kind of flip places.
At halftime, 14 first downs, 2 for the Giants. Every edge has gone Dallas's way. 2 quarterback sacks by the Cowboy defense. They've had the time of possession edge, and all of that has added up to a 27-0 halftime lead for the Cowboys.
And I just saw Dave Wanstad, the defensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys out in the hall, has done such a great job. And he says, we're going to let Charles Haley earn his money this second half. I said, what do you mean? He said, we're going to let him loose and go after the quarterback. And I thought, well, didn't you do that in the first half? He goes, no. He said, we're going to go after the quarterback the second half.
Lynn Elliott will kick off to open the second half. Joey Smith takes it 5 yards deep, and it'll be a touchback. The ball comes out to the 20-yard line. Emmitt Smith, the first touchdown of the ball game. This came at the end of the opening drive, and it was from 5 yards out. And here's the first block. Ken Norton got it. Robert Williams recovers. That made it 14-0 Dallas. Landetta back to punt on the third possession. This time it was blocked by Kenneth Gant. And Dallas converted that into a field goal. They got another field goal and a Novacek touchdown. Sims caught by Ingram. And a flag is down.
And the flag was thrown right by the receiver. Sims is staying down there in the 10-yard line, saying it's against them. He didn't even start moving upfield. He completed that pass and started going backwards. So he knew the result of the penalty before we even hear about it.
Pass interference, number 82 offense, 10 yards, previous spot, still first down.
That's on Mark Ingram, and Phil Sims probably saw it because it was Mark Ingram he was throwing the ball to, so he was watching Ingram downfield, and he probably saw him on the thing. Because if we see it, it has to happen right here. He's coming down here, and the offensive pass interference has to be right down here on this side. See it right down here at the bottom of the screen. See, Sims is watching him. He just pushed off right there.
Sims for Ingram, intercepted. Picked off behind Ingram at the 30-yard line. James Washington comes up with the ball, and the Cowboys have it 30 yards away.
Well, he completed that first one. Now he's looking for Ingram again. You watch this. He turns a little to his right. He's looking out there to the right. He's looking again for Ingram. He doesn't even see nor feel that push coming right up the middle. He steps into it, and as he throws, that took everything off his throw, that double hit.
Cowboys first down and 10 at the 29-yard line. Emmitt Smith. Carl Banks with the tackle. Just a couple of minutes, we're going to switch many of you to the Atlanta-Washington game. It's a little closer than this one. Right now, in the second half of that game, 21-14, Washington on top. So that's coming up for many of you around the country. Our score, of course, 27-0, Dallas leading the New York Giants. Those of you in the Dallas market and the New York market will stay here with this game. Second down and 8. Batted back by Pepper Johnson. We want to take many of you across the Hudson out of New York, where Greg Gumbel will set the scene for the Atlanta-Washington game. Those of you leaving us will be kept up to date on the score of this game. Mike Saxon's had a relatively easy afternoon.
Yeah, one of the jobs that the punter has now, and all the quarterbacks in the league have been complaining about the footballs, that they're slippery and slick, and the brand new footballs, they put something on the football, so it's usually the kicker's job to get the footballs and kind of scuff them up like they do baseball.
Aikman. Michael Irvin, missed tackle by Perry Williams. McGriggs. Is it a touchdown? No, out of bounds at the 1.
Michael Irvin is arguing for statistics there. Michael Irvin, and I think they gave it to him. He talked him into it.
Wouldn't you know he could?
Yeah, I was watching him down there, and they said no, and Michael Irvin kept talking to him, and then the referee, the official, just raised his hand. That's an amazing thing. He started to mark it. Irvin kept talking to him, and he talked the guy into it.
Well, he knew there was no instant replay in effect this year, so what the heck?
I know, just watch him. He's at the left of the screen there. He runs it out on Perry Williams. Again, bad coverage, terrible tackling. That's been the Giants' case now for 2 years. And he's saying that he got the ball in there. Remember, the ball has to break the plane. See the official start to spot it there? He was waving. He was going to spot it, and he gave him the touchdown. Irvin talked him into it.
Those of you who know Michael Irvin or know of him will not be surprised to learn that Michael Irvin is the host of his own television show on our CBS affiliate in Dallas.
Wednesday.
Not a mistake graphically, 34-0, and the look on Carl Banks' face pretty well sums up how things have gone for the New York Football Giants. Michael Irvin talked his way into a touchdown. That was amazing.
Yeah, because that official was marking that ball down there, and Irvin is one of the great talkers in this league, and he's a fast talker too, so I'm sure that he was talking fast, and he wanted that statistically, he wanted the touchdown.
Bobble by Joey Smith, and it'll be a touchback and come out to the 20. Just smiling to myself watching Joey Smith try and return and thinking the story you told last night about the one thing you never want are a variety of kickoff returns for your team.
Yeah, I used to have a special teams coach, and he used to have like 6 kickoff returns. Here we're going to go middle, right, double middle, double left. And I said, hey, Joe, we don't need 6 kickoff returns. And he keep having them. I said, if we're returning that many kickoffs, we're getting killed anyway. I said, we need 1 kickoff return. That's all. We'll have a good game.
Sims. Larry Brown.
Part of that is laying that thing up there in that zone. That ball stayed up there quite a while, and there was a long time for that defense to react to it. Look at all those Cowboy defenders around there. See, there's one in front, one behind, and one at the side. And you see the ball in the air there? Now watch the reaction. See, he gets up, and he gets it in the back and in the side at the same time.
Mark Ingram is still down. Medical staff is out. Time has been called.
Former champions Stefan Edberg and Pete Sampras meet for the men's final of the U.S. Open Tennis Championships on CBS Sports.
Michael Irvin held out most of the summer, came back into camp with a new contract just before the Redskin game. Had a touchdown a moment ago, and here's Bill Sims back to throw on first down. Rodney Hampton makes a couple of Cowboys missed tackles and gets 9 yards out of that, maybe 10 depending on the spot. Still 21-0. Bobby Hebert just threw a 52-yard pass, and New Orleans goes on top of Chicago by 1. And Detroit rolling over Minnesota.
I think Detroit's a legitimate team. I know that a lot of people thought that maybe they didn't belong there last year in the championship game, but they are still a good football team, especially at home. They're tough.
Hampton for 3 yards in the first down. There's we mentioned Bates and Jeffcoat a while ago, and here's the 3rd member of the 10-year club for the Cowboys, Mark Tuinei.
Yeah, I'll tell you, he's been doing a good job of blocking at that left tackle spot because that's where Lawrence Taylor's been rushing from most of the time. And like I said, the Giants in this game only seem to have one guy that can get close to the passer, and that's Lawrence Taylor. And the Cowboy offensive line has done an outstanding job.
First down and 10. Sims screen pass. Hampton spins to the 40-yard line. Gain of 7.
See who made that tackle? Tony Casillas. That's a heck of a play for a defensive tackle. I mean, when you see a defensive lineman and he gets downfield like that, and he starts inside, and he's going to come downfield all the way across the field. We can stop it now. Well, see, he starts a pass rush. He's right here, and watch where he ends up. He's double teamed. He starts a pass rush. Now watch, he almost goes down. He sees that screen, and he gets out there and makes that tackle.
On a sweep left, that'll be another Giant first down at the 34-yard line. A gain of 6 for Rodney Hampton.
Brown and Washington.
But that is hustle, and that's the thing that Jimmy Johnson was talking about, Tony Casillas being their best defensive lineman. They got a lot of defensive linemen. In fact, they have 9 guys. Russell Maryland is out now. They have 9 defensive linemen on their roster, and I think to get their center Stepnoski back, they're going to have to get rid of a defensive lineman. It looks like Danny Noonan is the guy they're trying to trade.
A lot of speculation about that. Here's Sims across the middle. Caught inside the 20 by Howard Cross. So the first time the Giants have threatened to score this afternoon, and that's a gain of 16.
Well, I know that, Giant fans are going to say, why didn't they do this all day? Well, they weren't down 34-0 all day, and and as much as you try and get your defense or your team up when you got a big lead, it's really hard. I mean, they do have letdowns, and it's not as important to them when they're up 34-0. So the defense isn't playing the same way.
Bill Sims with a play fake. That one is dropped by Derek Brown, the #1 draft choice out of Notre Dame. It'll be second down and 10.
I don't know when the Giants in their life have ever been down 34-0. I know it hasn't been any time that I remember, because again, they made a living, and Giant football was dominant defense led by this guy Lawrence Taylor, who was probably the most dominant defensive player that I have ever seen. That was their football, so I've never seen anything like this.
34-0. We did some research, and this is the 60th time these two teams have played, going back.
Encroachment, number 75 defense, 5 yards, still second down.
Tony Casillas. We go back all the way to 1960, the first year of the Cowboys' existence. Of course, the Giants have been around a lot longer than that. And in the 60 games played between the teams, Dallas has never had a larger lead at halftime than it did today. Run. Very nice run. Down at the 5, a gain of 8.
And this is the idea that the Giants had coming into this game, Vern, where they were going to run Hampton a lot, be able to throw screens, throw draws, get the Cowboys to tighten up, hang in there, and then go play pass on them. And of course, the way the Cowboys started and the Giant defense started, they really didn't have the chance to start that way.
New York.
Some guys even figured, you see that one guy there, 34-0. clap. He said, I'm not even going to clap for a touchdown when it's 34-6. But again, they're controlling the line of scrimmage. You see all the blue jerseys knocked all the white jerseys back. And anytime you do that on or near the goal line, you're going to get touchdown.
That's the third touchdown in as many weeks for Rodney Hampton. He had 2 last week. 80-yard drive. Matt Barr's extra point is up and good. So with 9:07 to go, third quarter, Giants are on the board. It's Jimmy Johnson en route to what am I trying to say? He's going to
win.
He's going to win, yes. Jimmy Johnson about to win his first one here before this is all over. He has been here, as John said a while ago, 4 times previously. And this one's kicked up by Alexander Wright. Down at the 25-yard line. Last time the Cowboys played the Giants here was a 22-9 New York victory, and a memorable occasion for Jimmy Johnson. He said it was the worst officiated game he had ever seen in his career. Even Ray Handley yesterday acknowledged, I think he had a couple of calls go against him. He had a look of some anger.
You know that old saying, if looks could kill? That one would look like he stopped breathing for a while there. But he was still talking about it last night. I remember seeing him an hour after the game. He was still yelling about it last week.
Emmett Smith for 6 out across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Emmett Smith with 55 yards, 1 touchdown.
Again, he's never had 100 yards against the Giants. He has a goal, Emmett Smith does, to gain 2,000 yards. He said all it is a goal, but if you figure, if I can average 125 yards a game, that gives me 2,000. Emmett Smith is capable of rushing 2,000 yards.
With runs like that, that's 14 quick ones. He had 140 Monday night.
But she's going to get good blocking up there in front. You see the tackle and the tight end come off, and they double team, and they get this push right here. Now, once you get this double, that gives you what you call a soft corner out here. Now, the Giants, again, have had trouble with that soft corner. They're not getting a force man up there. You see, outside of that linebacker is supposed to be a defensive back up in what they call force. They double the corner, got the soft corner, and no force.
We'll get it again, and this time he is tripped up by Carl Banks.
And there's a Lawrence Taylor play. I mean, when Lawrence Taylor comes from the backside, and that's the old LT. When you line up here, and the ball goes this way, and you make the play from back there, you are on a burner. That's why they have to block Lawrence Taylor when they run away from him. And when you stop doing that, you say he's not what he used to be. He's not what he used to be. But if you're going to run away from him, you still better block him.
Smith with 70 yards now. And it's 2nd down and 9. 6:48 to go in the third quarter. Aikman lobs it. Emmett Smith. And he picks up 7 yards.
Aikman really has a touch on this short stuff. Now, we saw Taylor on one side. This time he's over here on this side. But Aikman, you see how quickly he gets away from that line of scrimmage, and then boom, he gets that ball up and just gets that thing away quick before anyone can get to him or near him. That is what he has developed under Norv Turner, the offensive coordinator of the Cowboys.
Norv Turner, who came from the Rams season before last, was with the Cowboys all of last year. Now Troy Aikman calls timeout. Cowboys lead at 34-7 with 6:03 to go, third quarter. .603 remaining third quarter. It's a casual atmosphere on the Cowboy bench.
I'll tell you, if you know things get that bad, I have never seen that in my life. I have never seen during a football game a guy reading a newspaper. I have never
on a bench.
Never, ever seen that. That's a new one. Never seen a guy read a newspaper on a bench. I would bet any money. I would bet any money that he's not. I know he's not a coach. The only guy he could be is a coach's son.
It is.
It is?
It is.
That's the only he could be is a coach's son, and he's a stockbroker. The only guy that could sit on a football bench and read a newspaper is a stockbroker who's a coach's son. That's a rule, I guess. Can you believe that? I have never seen that.
Well, he put it away now. I mean, he's up.
Nah, well, he's embarrassed now. He knows. Someone said, hey, get off the bench, kid. The old man's going to tell you about that one.
Third one. Johnson did not make it. It'll be fourth down.
If Jimmy Johnson wants someone to get mad at on third down for not making it, he can yell at his son for reading the newspaper. Now, this is an interesting decision. It's a division rivalry. You got a big lead. Do you go for it like you're going to rub it in or not? Jimmy Johnson made that decision. They're going to punt it. I mean, Ray Handley and his staff has enough problems.
So Mike Saxon comes on. That carry by Darrell Johnston that was stopped for no gain. The first carry by anyone other than Emmitt Smith in the ball game. And Dave Meggett waits for it at the 10. Saxon doesn't have many go for touchbacks. That's the second this year. There's also a flag down, so let's see what the infraction is.
It's going to be against the Cowboys, so they'll have to kick that one again unless the Giants turn it down.
A member of the kicking team, number 98, downfield too soon. Penalty is declined. Result of the play is a touchback. First down on the 20. Timeout.
Giants get it back. 5:02 to go. Third quarter. 34-7 Dallas.
One of these engines was filled with Castro.
Run against the Bears. Well, next week he takes his magic to RFK Stadium. The Lions and the Redskins next Sunday on CBS. On first down from the 20, Phil Simms, right flat. That one is caught by Ed McCaffrey in front of Isaac Holt. Detroit rolling over the Vikings up at the Silverdome 31-3 in the third quarter.
And, of course, that's a rematch at Detroit at Washington. That's a rematch of the championship game. There's Eric Williams, the big new right tackle of the Cowboys. He's another guy who's done an outstanding job today.
At least he's not reading the newspaper.
No. He's looking at the plays. He's looking at the defense and how they line up.
Simms goes deep for Baker. Larry Brown got a hand on the ball. Flag is down.
Oh, that was a late flag. Where'd that one come from?
Was it ever?
I think the guy on the other side threw it. I'll tell you, they did that and there was no flag on there. And then that flag come out and now the officials are having a conference. You know, the ball was on the other sideline and the flag, I think, was thrown from this sideline.
Here's Tom White. I think the Giants lost the argument.
There is no penalty on the play. He touched the ball first, therefore there's no interference. Incomplete pass, third down.
I'll tell you, that's a heck of a play by Brown. Watch out. I mean, he gets in there and gets that arm over, and he doesn't touch anything. That is not pass interference. That is real good coverage by Larry Brown.
Well, Banks Williams, the back judge who made the call, thought he saw Larry Brown with his left hand on the helmet. Indeed he did, but as Tom White said, there was contact prior to that with the ball. Hampton. That's a gain of 3.
Yeah, we talked about Larry Brown and how he's been probably the most impressive defensive player in camp this year for the Cowboys, and he gained 20 pounds. I was watching him. You know, we showed how they practiced yesterday in street clothes, and I knew he gained 20 pounds because you know how when you gain weight, how your pants, how the pockets open up?
I do know that.
Yeah, where you can't close the pocket. You know, the pockets don't stay closed. His pockets were that way. And I said, that guy gained weight. I know where he gained weight because his pockets are flapped open.
That one is caught by Chris Callaway, and that's good for a first down.
I talked to Dave Wanstead at halftime. He says, I'm going to let Charles Haley go. He's going to earn his money this second half. And I'll tell you, he has let him go, and he's coming on a stunt there. See him stun in the middle. And then Charles Haley's one of those guys that knows if he runs that far, he's going to knock the quarterback down.
Gain of 11 for Callaway, a first down New York. 3:39 to go third quarter. Here's Hampton bouncing to the outside. And Kenneth Gant has the stop at the 50.
He ran right into his own guy, ran into Ed McCaffrey. I have no idea what McCaffrey was doing in there, but that's another thing that could have been a pretty good play. But watch, you'll see number 81 come in. He's going to come across. You see Hampton break a tackle here. Now watch his own guy right there. Boom, he just backed right into him. I guess he was trying to make a block.
It'll be second down and 3 from the 50. 34-7. Cowboys may have come across in the neutral zone.
Yeah, I think it was either a neutral zone, encroachment, or offsides by the Cowboys. You know, in all my years of football, I've never figured out the difference between encroachment, offsides, and neutral zone.
Offsides, number 57, defense in the neutral zone, 5 yards.
Well, maybe it's no difference. What he's saying is he was offsides and in the neutral zone. Maybe it is the same thing because he used the same word. He said offsides in the neutral zone. The neutral zone, I know what that is. That's the length of the football.
Okay.
And offsides, I guess, is if you're onside and you step in the neutral zone, then you're offsides in the neutral zone.
Then define encroachment.
It's all the same.
First and 10. Sims. Baker slipped as he tried to make his cut. Larry Brown was right there in the neighborhood, though.
You know, it's something in the first half, the Giant offense only had 2 first downs, and they've had 9 first downs this quarter. But I think the thing, in all due respect, it's too much too late.
Well, and that goes back to the point you made earlier about the intensity defensively when you're up 34-0.
Yeah, and I think Ray Hanley is, yeah, I mean, to say he's going to have a tough time getting this team back is an understatement. I think he's going to have an impossible time getting this team back.
Sims, Larry Brown drawing a beat on it, and he wants an offensive call on Stephen Baker.
I'll tell you, this Larry Brown, you know, you talk about guys that have been doing well and everything. Larry Brown has been all over the place. They've been working on him. It looked like part of their plan is that they wanted to work on Larry Brown. You look at him, second-year guy, 12th round draft choice a year ago. Let's go to work on him. But I think as the year goes on, they're going to find out he's not the guy to work on.
Joey Smith has come into the lineup now. See if Sims goes for him deep. For Stephen Baker with Isaac Holt defending, and Phil Sims hurries downfield to ask for a call.
Well, they saw Michael Irvin get it. They saw Michael Irvin talk an official into a touchdown, and they're trying to talk an official into a penalty here. Let's see, Holt there gets his hands on him, does grab him, grabs him again. Yeah, I think you could make a case that number 30, Isaac Holt, did hold him.
I think so.
And see, the quarterback will see that because Sims that's the guy he was throwing to, so he saw him hold him.
On 4th down, the Giants will go for it, trailing 34-7. Dallas brings 4 defensively toward Phil Sims. Cross. Tackle made by Robert Williams. New York gets a first down. 27-yard gain.
I tell you, that was another bad tackle there, that time by the Cowboys. It was Darren Woodson. And the Cowboys, again, sometimes you get a big lead, and it's tough to keep your guys up, and the Cowboys are getting a little sloppy.
McCaffrey goes wide to the left, Baker wide right. Ingram out with a hip pointer. And here's Rodney Hampton. Nice move. Oh, another great move. Down at the 1. Nifty run by Rodney Hampton.
They were talking to Emmett Smith yesterday, and he said Rodney Hampton is sweet as a runner. Watch the blocking here. The left guard, the right guard, Kratz pulls, number 61. Boom, he gets a block right there. A good cutback, a nice move, poor tackling there. And then again, another nice move there, another nice move there. That's a heck of a run by Rodney Hampton. That's one will make the highlight reel.
First and goal from the 1. Hampton stopped, no gain. Rodney Hampton scored once inside the 5. He scored twice on short runs last week.
A lot of guys saying 66. Whatever that means, we're going to see. I'll guarantee you we're going to see 66 on this play.
Choice of a year ago.
Garrett Bunch is the short back there. The one that is up close. Fake to Hampton after Hampton has run and just throw it out in the flat to Jared Bunch. Of course, Derek Brown was a tight end. They went off. Derek Brown run the guys deep so Bunch could get inside.
His touchdown is first as a pro. Matt Barr with the extra point. And the Giants close to within 20, 34-14.
Yeah, this is the play that really made it possible. Watch the run by Hampton here. See, Cratch gives him a block there and lets him cut back. Then he cuts back, and then he just starts stopping and starting and stopping and starting and moving and right and left and everything. And I'll tell you, that was as sweet a run as any one that Emmett Smith has made today.
He had no open flaps in his pockets.
Now, sometimes running backs do that. You know, when there's one on the other side, they want to show what they can do, too. And Emmett Smith, of course, is one of the great ones. Led the National Football League in rushing last year. Last week was the NFC Player of the Week. And that'll get a guy like Rodney Hampton up. You know, he said, when you come to my house, I want to show you what I can do, too.
Tony Casillas is getting some equipment help, repair on the Cowboy bench.
Well, that's that knee brace. And again, when you work with a knee, you got to take the pants off. And at least on the Cowboy sideline, they put a towel around them.
Alexander Wright down at the 19-yard kickoff return. Coming up next on CBS, the men's singles final. Stefan Edberg, Pete Sampras. Number 2 and 3 seeds advance to the final. That'll follow the NFL on CBS. Pat and Tony and Mary Carrillo. Andrea Joyce over in Queens for that. (34-14) final 26 seconds, third quarter. Jackson misses the tackle. That's at least a dozen missed tackles, I think.
Yeah, I would bet that the Giants have missed more than a dozen tackles. I would say that they're between 15 and 20 missed tackles so far in this game.
That's the end of the third quarter with our score. Dallas 34, the Giants 14. Our coverage continues after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
This is CBS.
Troy Princess Diana on the next hard copy.
Back at Giants Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, the final 15. Giants 14, the Cowboys 34. Vern Lundquist and John Madden. And the Dallas Cowboys about to win their first game here under Jimmy Johnson. Troy Aikman and the Cowboys led 27-0 at the half. Statistics have evened out, but that is absolutely meaningless. Here's Emmitt Smith for the first down after the 32-yard line. He's gained 6 so far.
Well, the Cowboys won the game in the first half. They had 14 first downs in the first half. They only had 2 in the third quarter. Conversely, the Giants only had 2 first downs the first half, and they've had 12 in the third quarter.
And yet they trail 34-14. Tampa Bay, Vinny Testaverde so far 20 of 22 for 350-some yards.
And I heard a report that he had vertigo or something and wasn't going to play this week. He was running into walls.
Dallas first and 10. Aikman, there's a drop. And for an update, let's go back to our New York studios. Here's Greg Gumbel.
All right, Vern, you were talking about Vinny Testaverde. 2 touchdowns throwing, and this one rushing. 2 yards right over Adrian White for the touchdown. 355 yards on the day. The Bucs looking to go 2-0 for the first time at the start of a season since 1980, Vern.
34-14, Dallas. And Tampa Bay about to go 2-0, as Greg said, under Sam White. Second down and 10. Smith. Carl Banks. No gain.
Yeah, the Giants are playing a little better, or the Cowboys aren't playing as well, but the Giants have lost 2/3 of their defensive line. Leonard Marshall is out. Eric Howard, their nose tackle, is out. So they're playing with backups in those positions, and they're playing a little better. They're playing quite a bit better in this third quarter.
3rd and 10. First sack of the day, Mike Fox gets him.
That was one of those things where he held the ball too long, because the one thing he'd been doing all day is getting away from the center and getting rid of the ball. They run Taylor by. You see, he holds. He couldn't find anyone open, and Mike Fox got the sack. But again, that was a coverage sack, because when he wanted to throw, he couldn't throw, and he had to hold it.
Dave Meggett waits for the punt after the loss of 7. Mike Saxon. That's a good one. Meggett at the 33. Tackled at the 38-yard line. 12:47 to go, a 41-yard punt and 5 on the return.
This game summary is sponsored by Nike.
The first 2 times Sean Landeta tried to punt for the New York Giants, Dallas blocked them. The total yardage is evened up now, but the Cowboys were out to a 34-0 lead. It's now 34-14 with 12:47 remaining, and even the Cowboy fans, I bet that guy enjoyed a lot of New York City last night.
Well, you know, that's what happened to the Cowboy team. They got ahead 34-0, then they went like that. They all went like that. He was that guy that we saw, remember, in the parking lot? He was a guy cooking those big old steaks.
Right.
And he ate those steaks and then watched the Cowboys in the first half. And
how about his
said, that's enough.
His buddies on either side, they're oblivious to him, and certainly the guy behind him doesn't care what's going on.
Yeah, the whole thing. I mean, the guy said, we came here to fight and to win, and we did it in the first half, and now I'll just take a nap in the second half.
Lewis Tillman has come in the lineup now for the New York Football Giants. And Phil Simms connects with Chris Callaway for a gain of 12.
Yeah, there's an interesting story. Fred Hoagland, he took a physical in the off-season. They found he had a heart problem, so they did that balloon procedure. Then he had some more problems a week ago. And a week ago Friday, he had an arthrectomy where they went in there and had the heart procedure. He was back, sat in the booth, the game signing, and he's been back coaching all week.
Lewis Tillman with a carry, but a flag is down, and this may be brought back. Gain of 6 if it stands.
But you know, remember Fred Hoagland, he was an NFL lineman for years in this league. And again, he's had 2 heart procedures in the last 3 months. And he's out there in the sideline. I saw him last week.
Holding.
He was here at the game.
Number 65 offense, 10 yards, still first down.
And his mother-in-law brought his granddaughter up before the game, and they told him, don't get excited. No matter what happens, just relax, because we care so much about you. We don't want anything to happen to you. And Fred said, I'm okay, I'm okay. And then he's back coaching a week after a heart procedure.
Here's Simms. McCaffrey tries to hang on. It's an incomplete pass. Let's go back once again to Greg Gumbel in our New York studios.
All right, Vern, in New Orleans, what a second half Bobby Hebert is having. 7 of 7, 210 yards, and 2 long touchdown passes. This one, 72 yards to Wesley Carroll. 14-6, New Orleans over the Bears in the fourth quarter, Vern.
All right, Greg. Here we've got a 34-14 score. Dallas leading the Giants with 12:10 remaining in the ball game. Second down and 20. Simms to McCaffrey, wide open. Blown coverage of some sort. And a first down for the Giants at the 29, a gain of 31.
And Bart Oates is there trying to get that offensive line up, so we got the protection. Now let's get something going. Let's speed up the pace here. Get something going. If you watch the coverage here, you'll see they're in a zone defense, and they're starting to play a soft zone defense. You see the line, if we can stop it right here, we see both the guys came up, and they let McCaffrey get behind them.
Simms, double coverage on Stephen Baker, and the pass well beyond him, incomplete.
You know, in a zone coverage, you always teach your players, don't take a bite. And you're always taking a bite on the short guy. Don't come up on the short guy and let someone sneak in behind you. That pass before to McCaffrey was exactly what happened. 2 guys took a bite on the short guy, and McCaffrey sneaked in behind them.
Second and 10. 11:23 to go. Charles Haley took an inside move. Games played by the defensive line, and Haley came up the middle.
And Dave Wanstead said he was going to do that. Here's Haley here. He starts outside. Now watch, he's going to work to the inside. The inside guy comes out. He works inside, and then he can change directions better than any defensive lineman, I think, in the league. So he can run those games or stunts because he can start one way and boom, come back under quicker than anyone. I tell you, he is a heck of a pass rusher, and when Dave Wanstead said he was going to let him loose the second half, I think he was talking about stunts like this. Haley loves stunts.
Third and 10 now for the Giants. This time Haley stays back in coverage on Dave Megan. Wow. And the pass is to Joey Smith, complete at the 7. of 22.
Joey Smith is catching passes now against the Dallas Cowboys. He was cut by the World Football League this offseason, made this Giant team, and now he's catching passes.
Cowboys have a player down. 11 minutes remaining in the ball game.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Coors Light, the Silver Bullet. It's the right beer now. Crest, the dentist's choice for fighting cavities. Crest with Floristat. And by BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, where the Cowboys lead New York 34-14. Ray Horton, the injured player, up and walking off by himself.
Yeah, if you watch, here's Joey Smith here, and if we let it run, we'll see when a quarterback runs around or has pass protection, things that can happen. We see this is no pass protection because we stop it here. Here's Joey Smith right in here. Now he sees a run. He just runs right up the field and catches the ball. That's not a pass. See him just wandering around in there? Then he just runs up. He finds a hole there, right there. Sims sees him and hits it, and they get a big play because Sims had and bought time.
First and goal from the 7-yard line. Tony Tolbert was the first man there. Gain of 1. Second and goal from the 6. No huddle. Trailing by 20 with 10.5 remaining in the ball game.
Again, this second half has had time, and that's the biggest difference in the world. Has time, and he has receivers getting open. The first half, he didn't have time, he didn't have the ball, and he didn't have his receivers getting open.
Well, certainly the momentum has changed in the ball game. Do the Giants have enough time left? 10:25 to go in the ball game, and New York is down by 13. Holding call on the extra point.
What that's going to do is that's going to eliminate an extra point and in essence make a field goal out of it. That'll be a 10-yard penalty.
Holding, 87 offense, 10 yards. We'll replay the try.
So the extra point now comes from the 20-yard line. Howard Cross. Extra point is good. I just looked across at the scoreboard immediately across from us that now says the Giants 35, Dallas 34.
I don't know. That scoreboard guy must be dreaming, but the fans love it. If that can count, if someone could read that, they're starting to cheer that. You know, because they are within 2 touchdowns. Now somewhere, they're going to have to try an onside kick.
If there's no replay, is that an official score?
Yeah, they might as well. They can just say that's it. You're the home team. You get all excited and you say we win. Look at these fans. They believe it. Look at them. They're standing up. They say we'll take it. The way this thing's going, the way these last couple of years are going, we'll take anything we can get. Look at this, their last 3 possessions, they've scored touchdowns, but they've had long drives. 2 of them were 80-yard drives.
And now Matt Barr getting ready to kick off. 10:25 remaining in the game. If they do stop Dallas, it could get really interesting. Here's Alexander Wright out to the 33.
I don't think anyone in the history of the NFL has ever come back from. In fact, that's true. The biggest deficit is 28. The Giants were down by 34, and they need 2 touchdowns, and somewhere they're going to have to kick an onside kick, but they don't have to do it yet because with 10 minutes, they do have time.
Here comes Lawrence Taylor. Holding is going to be called on Eric Williams. This will be a penalty against Dallas.
You know, you talk about momentum, and maybe it's a cliche and maybe it's overused, but there is a truth to it. The Cowboys had it in the first half. The Giants have it in the second half. Watch a holding right down in the bottom of the screen. You see Eric Williams.
Number 79 offense, 10 yards, still first down.
That's his second or third penalty, and that's what I brought up earlier. Usually the guy that has to block Lawrence Taylor will come up with more penalties than any other player when they play the Giants.
Under 10 minutes. 34-21. First down, 20 for Dallas.
And the Giants have to be thinking of getting a turnover, not only stopping them, but creating a turnover. One time we saw Taylor. Now watch Carl Banks from right here coming in. He just takes Eric Williams and he just drives him right into Aikman. These two guys are starting to get fired up, Carl Banks and Lawrence Taylor. And if they can play like they used to just for 10 more minutes, they can still make a game out of this thing.
Second and 20. Aikman for Urban. Incomplete. Coverage by Mark Collins.
And there's a whole new enthusiasm. There's a whole new enthusiasm on the Giants sideline, and there's starting to be a little sense of urgency on the Cowboys sideline. You know, I think they kind of thought it was over, and they kind of thought that maybe they didn't have to play anymore, and now they got to get it back up again. The Cowboys lost it. They got to get it again. The Giants got it.
Tough to get it back, isn't it?
I'll tell you one thing. There's no one reading any newspapers on that Cowboy bench now. Rush on a stunt. You see him cross. But watch Aikman right here. No one's open. No one's open. Dorsey just falls in. Just grabs the ankle.
Mike Saxon on fourth down. Great punt. Dave Meggett can return it from the 22. Gets a block from Reynolds. Saxon outkicked his coverage, a 55-yard punt. 23 on the return for David Meggett.
I know what Jimmy Johnson's saying because he said it 1,000 times as a coach. Hey, there's 4 quarters to every game you play, guys. And coaches forget it, and I'll guarantee you players forget it.
Giants have scored on their last 3 possessions. They're 55 yards away. Sims, McCaffrey. First down at the Cowboy 41.
Giants just needed that first half as a warm-up. They just had to get that because now they're in sync. They got their pass protection going. Phil Simms looks like he's loose. They're opening it up. He's finding McCaffrey. He's finding Stephen Baker. He has Megan. He's finding things that he can do now.
8:40 to go. 1st and 10, New York. Hampton. Missed tackle. 1st down, New York.
Say, if there's any one guy, forget the quarterback, if there's any one guy to change this thing around for the Giants, it has to be this guy, Hampton. I think if there's any, if you could say what did it, who's the guy that did it, I think it was Rodney Hampton. Not only on this play or this drive, but when he made those runs when they got that other touchdown 2 touchdowns ago. I think he got the whole thing started.
From the 23, 1st down. Hampton. Robert Jones and Tony Casillas collaborate for the tackle at the 20. The clock shows 7:45 and running.
I think time is not important to the Giants here. I mean, with the 3 timeouts and 7 minutes to go and needing 2 scores, that is a possibility.
2nd and 7. Dallas leads by 13. They once led by 34. Simms for McCaffrey in front of Washington. 1st and goal.
Look, you can just feel the energy in this stadium, and you can feel the players have the energy. The stadium, the fans giving the players energy, the energy given to the fans. The whole thing is something. Then Phil Simms is making plays like this. McCaffrey has been open this whole second half. Look at this. Look at this. 223 in the first half, 63. It's just been reversed.
1st and goal. Play action. Simms. Touchdown. Howard Cross. We buried him too soon.
Well, the guy here in New York, Yogi Berra, said it. Boy, in any sport, that is true.
Matt Barr can bring New York to within 2 field goals of a tie. And within a touchdown and extra point of a win. Well, a moment ago, the scoreboard said 35-34 New York. Could it possibly have been a premonition?
There's so many times in this world where you just don't have...
Phil Simms has thrown for 225 yards in the second half. He's also thrown for 271. And the Giants have scored 4 touchdowns in 13 minutes and 23 seconds. And just a footnote, Phil Simms has gone beyond 30,000 yards in his career as a quarterback in the NFL. But more significantly, he's gotten his team to within 6. Alexander Wright. Out of bounds at the 29-yard line.
It was ironic. We talked to Jimmy Johnson last night about having to have something that changes the momentum. He said you have to have it on offense, defense, and special teams. I think the Giants had it in Rodney Hampton, and I think we're going to find out what the Cowboys have because they have to change the momentum if they're going to win this game.
First and 10, Dallas. 6:43 to go. Play fake. Aikman chased by John Washington and Pepper Johnson, and he picks up 8 yards out to the 37-yard line.
Aikman, run out by Johnson.
See, again, with 6:35, the Giants still have time. Time with 6:35 and having all three of your timeouts, time is not a problem yet. The thing that they have to stop is Dallas from getting first down. Conversely, the thing that the Cowboys have to think of is getting first downs, eating up time on the clock.
2nd and 1. Smith. Close. And the first down apparent for the Cowboys, depending on, see where the spot is.
Sometimes you'd rather have them get the first down if it's just going to be an inch or so you can start a new set of downs and stop them and get it over with. Because if they get within an inch or so and it's third down, then they pick that up. That just takes another minute or so off the clock.
Got it.
They got a first down, but that's not bad. That's what the Cowboys are looking for. And then the Giants, again, are trying to stop first down. So this is a big series here of just first down, just 10 yards. You can make right now, you can make a 10-yard gain out of it, 10-yard game out of it for this period of time.
5:40 remaining.
This is football, though. I mean, this has offense, some defense, some special teams, block kicks, talked into touchdowns. This is a football game.
Aikman will throw on 1st and 10, maybe. Into the flat for Emmitt Smith. Looking for blocking help, gets it from Eric Williams. And he is down at the 43. He went a long, long way to gain 5 yards.
That is, and the Giants are tackling better. You know, we talked about that. They really didn't tackle well at all the first half, even the third quarter. Maybe they just need the offense to do something, and then maybe that brings up the defense. I'm not sure, but you saw how now they're scrambling around better, they're pursuing better, they're tackling better, they're rushing the passer better, they're doing all those things better.
2nd and 6, 4:40 to go. Cowboys lead by 6. Here's Emmitt Smith. Dodges a tackle, picks up 2. It'll be 3rd down and 3. Or 4.
I'll tell you who did the job on that play was Carl Banks. I mean, he got penetration from that left side, and he collapsed that whole side, and he made Emmitt Smith take it inside. But watch Carl Banks get that penetration to here, and then Emmitt Smith had to cut it back.
Third down and 4. Banks gets a rest. Under 4 minutes remaining. Kelvin Martin in motion, followed by Everson Walls. Quick pass. Drops the ball. Had it. Lost it.
I'll tell you, they hit him on both ends. Fox knocked Aikman down. The secondary, Mark Collins, knocked Michael Irvin down. And that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do on defense. You have to knock guys down.
Which means Phil Simms and the Giants offense will get a chance. Dave Meggett waits at the 10. Michael Saxon to punt. Good one. Meggett. Out of bounds at the 18.5-yard line.
You say the Giants have a long way that they have to drive here, but you remember they've already driven that long twice in the second half. You're going to see Fox is going to come up. Boom, he hits Aikman just as he throws the ball. Michael Irvin just dropped that ball. There was no defensive help there. He got banged after he dropped it. The second down play was a big play by that guy right there, Carl Banks. he deserves a little shot of oxygen.
Michael Irvin dropped 2 Monday night. Of course, he held out till just before that game. Here's Sims back. Chased by Haley. Lets it go. Incomplete. He had Haley at his ankles when he let the ball fly.
And that's why the Cowboys got Haley. When you have a defensive lineman and you pay him $1 million like Haley's making, he has to make plays now. And you see the only guy in there near Sims is Charles Haley. And he's knocking him down and forcing him to throw the ball. You know, this is where big players make big plays. And it's a lot easier in the first quarter. But when you get tired and everything's out of you and you're on the road and you're fighting, you know, for everything, this is where the guys, the big players, come up with big plays.
2nd down and 10. They double team Haley, Hampton, Kenneth Gant, and Gant hangs on long enough to get Isaac Holt's help, and the pickup is 1. The clock's still running with 3:20 to go.
Did they do a job on Charles Haley, though, didn't they? John Elliott having William Roberts just go over and boom, just put him right in his back. Watch Haley, he's right here. Now he's going to go against Elliott. Now watch, Elliott has him there, 76, block him. Whap! There comes Roberts. Put him right on his back.
3rd down and 9. Sims across the middle for Meggett, and Bates gets some help, and they make the tackle at the 20. It'll be 4th down.
That was not a good drive by the Giants. I don't think that play calling or selection or the things they did was really what they needed in that situation. They've been playing so well this second half.
And the clock now shows 2:18 remaining. Landetta punts it away. Ray Horton is back to return the punt.
What the heck was he doing?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. He looked like he'd been knocked out earlier. He still may be knocked out. He caught the ball and just stood there and waited for the defense to come and get him. That was the darndest punt return I've ever seen.
Started doing the foxtrot.
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing. Usually they run forward or backwards or sideways or someplace. Watch him. He catches the ball. There's no one around him. What's he doing? Like he's playing takeaway or something. That is a new one. And then just go to the ground. After all that, you go right, left, boom. You just go down. I have no idea. I think he may still have been knocked out from that play down there in the goal line.
Somebody's going to write a rap song to that.
Oh, no, he's goofy. No, there's something goofy about that play.
2:06 remaining in the ball game. Here's Emmett Smith. And the Cowboys will try and work on the clock. We have reached the 2-minute warning. Dallas got up by 34. The Giants scored 4 times in a row, but they came up short the last time they had the ball.
Well, I drive a race.
Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes, and that's followed by the special preview of Franny's Turn, a new comedy starring Miriam Margolyes and Thomas Millian. And returning for its 2nd season, it's a preview of the Emmy-nominated Brooklyn Bridge, starring Marion Ross. Then it's the CBS Sunday night movie, Grave Secrets, The Legacy of Hilltop Drive. Patty Duke, David Selby, and David Soul star in this drama about an unsuspecting family learning that their house has been built on an old cemetery. That's all tonight on CBS. Mark Collins, the cornerback, the injured Giant, walking off by himself.
Yeah, they were checking his right knee. You'll see him. He's right here. And you'll see as he's coming again, he's the guy that has to make that force when they come up. And you see his right knee got caught and bent, and he ended up on the bottom of the pile. There's about 5 guys on top of that bent right knee.
At the 2-minute mark, 2nd down and 2, Dallas. They lead 34-28. And Emmitt Smith stopped short of the first down, it would appear, to see where the spot comes from Fred Bryant, the line judge. Carl Banks.
Put it back. He got the left foot job. You see that? If he put it on the right foot, would have had one thing. He brought it back and spotted it where the left foot was. So that's going to be short of a first down.
They'll bring the chain out. Collins walks off the knee injury, or tries to.
Give it there, it's going to be a first down. So I think we get into another one of those 10-yard things here, Vern, that the Giants now are trying to stop a first down. They're going to have to start thinking of using timeouts. They have 2 left. The Cowboys need a couple of first downs.
Clock started running. I thought I saw Carl Banks ask for a timeout to the line judge, Fred Wyatt. The clock now shows 1:40 remaining in the game. And a discussion with Tom Hoyt. I bet they're going to put some seconds back on. Here we go.
Set the stadium clock to 1 minute, 53 seconds.
Exactly.
Charge New York with a timeout.
Now, Carl Banks came over and asked Fred Wyatt for a timeout when he thought they were going to spot or measure the football. So the Giants now have 2 timeouts remaining. And the Cowboys have a first down and 10, 34-28, 1:53 to go.
The Giants are going to have to use their timeouts with their defense. They're going to have to use those 2 with the defense. That was really one that you hope you wouldn't have had to use. You like to keep them together when the other team has a first down. Now, all the Cowboys need, they don't have to think of field goal. They don't have to think of touchdown. All they have to think of is they need first down.
All of that emotion in the crowd dissipated after the New York got to within 34-28 and they got the ball back. There was a surge of emotion. Redskins win. New Orleans will win. Detroit has won, as has Tampa Bay. First down and 10. Emmitt Smith runs into Darrell Johnson. Penetration again by the linebacking core led by Carl Banks.
I tell you, that's the thing that they weren't getting early that they're getting now. Penetration, and we saw Carl Banks do it earlier, and we're going to see Carl Banks do it again. You see from the left side of the screen right there, he gets in the backfield, and Emmitt Smith just goes over Carl Banks and his blocker. That's a heck of a linebacking play.
Coming up, Edberg against Sampras, the U.S. Open men's singles final. That follows our game on CBS. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League, and this CBS telecast is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast other than the use of this telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the New York Giants, and the National Football League is prohibited.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys line up tight here and I do this down and next down, throw the ball.
Play fake. Pass. Novacek. Greg Jackson was not fooled. And they come up short of the first down, a gain of 4. And they will use their final timeout now prior to the third down play.
And again, Carl Banks was in there. Carl Banks was all over Troy Aikman. You talk about disrupting a play. Watch Banks. He's right here. He's going to get in and disrupt this. See the play pass. They fake the play pass. Then, boom, Banks is right there. He didn't go for it. He made Aikman throw it off his back foot and throw it when he didn't want to.
Third down and 7, and the final timeout has been used by the Giants. 1:40 remaining in the ball game.
Yeah, the guys for the Giants, I think, that have really brought him back is Banks here on defense and Hampton on offense. I mean, obviously Phil Simms in the job that he did, but the things that aren't quite as obvious. I mean, Banks is playing like the Carl Banks of 5 years ago.
Urging the crowd on as he goes over to the sideline. Steve DiOssi trying to get the crowd back into it. 3rd and 7 Dallas, 1:40 remaining.
I'd leave Banks in there as a rusher. He's fired up. I wouldn't have taken him out.
Blitz. Michael Irvin, first down Dallas. That should do it. This time he hangs on.
Hey, that's the thing. You know, Michael Irvin's going to drop a pass, but he's never going to lose confidence. That's the thing about Irvin. I mean, some guys will drop pass, they'll lose confidence. Boom, they make this hit right there, right in front of him, and he catches a big one. Of course, that's a position that Mark Collins went out from. And that was a rookie, Corey Raymond, that they worked on that time.
And the first down gives Dallas a fresh set of downs. Giants cannot stop the clock. So despite the efforts of Carl Banks, it would appear the Cowboys will get off to a 2-0 start for the first time in 6 years. Second down. Today's game produced by Bob Stenner and directed by Sandy Grossman. The NFL Today was produced by Eric Mann and directed by Duke Struck. And the senior producer of the NFL on CBS is Ed Gorin. Ray Hanley's team falls behind 34-0, 27-zip at the half. They come back and make a game of it. The Cowboys hang on to win. Michael Irvin with a catch to help preserve the victory. And Dallas wins it 34-28 to go 2-0. And for the first time in 10 years, the New York Giant football team loses its first 2 games at home to start a season. Back with some final thoughts right after this.
A lot of people come to Subway for big food. They're in for a shock when they...
Dallas Cowboys jump out to a 27-0 halftime lead. They go up 34-0 before Phil Simms and Rodney Hampton on offense and Carl Banks on defense lead the Giants back. But it comes up a 6-point Dallas victory, 34-28. They are 2-0, both wins over NFC Eastern Division rivals, and they get Phoenix at home next week. The New York Giants, 8-8 a year ago, fall to 0-2. They've got to go to Chicago to play a week from Monday night before they get a bye, and then they go out to the West Coast to take on the Los Angeles Raiders, so it's not going to get any easier for the New York Giants. So for John Madden, this is Vern Lundquist saying so long from Giant Stadium. Our final score, the Cowboys 34, the Giants 28. Coming up next, the men's final of the U.S. Open.